The search for Mount Zion, the city of the great king. The flag of Haiti, land of Emmanuel, ensign of the people. Israel will be gathered. The flag of Haiti will help us to answer this very important question. What is the sign that marks the place of the gathering of the 12 tribes of Israel? An ensign. Isaiah 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The creator of heaven and earth will set up an ensign for the gathering of the children of Israel. An ensign is a flag. But where is Jerusalem? Where do we find Jerusalem? Let's start at the center. The central theme in the Bible is life. The central figure in the Bible is Israel. In the center of the earth, we find the highest mountain, the highest seat of authority, Jerusalem, the mother of us all. What does the Bible say about Jerusalem? In the Bible, Jerusalem is the navel of the earth. We read in Galatians 4, verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. Jerusalem is called the mother of us all. At one point in our life, we got all of our nourishment from our mother through our navel, which is in the center of the body. The nourishment came from our mother through the navel. That's why Jerusalem is called the navel of the earth. It is from Jerusalem that the word of the Father goes out into the rest of the world. Ezekiel 5, verse 5. Thus saith the mighty Father, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. Ezekiel 38, verse 12. The people that are gathered out of the nations that dwell in the midst of the land. So we see that the Father has set Jerusalem in the midst of the nations, in the midst of the land. When we look at a map of Haiti, we see that Haiti is in the center of North and South America, two large continents. And we can see as you move from the old world to Haiti, you see that Haiti is centrally located for them as well. Where do we find New Jerusalem? In the center of the flag of Haiti is the coat of arms, where we find Israel on a mound of earth. Haiti is the branch of the root of Jesse. It is the ensign for the nations. The flag of Haiti is the ensign that will be set up for Israel. It marks the spot of Mount Zion. The flag of Haiti has many signs. What is the voice of each sign? Let's look at 12 of the signs that are on the ensign. This is the flag of Haiti. It is made up of two horizontal stripes that cuts the flag in half. The top stripe is blue. The bottom stripe is red. In the center of the flag, is the coat of arms. The coat of arms is composed of a tree, some flags, and some weapons of war, along with a motto. To begin our study of the flag, let's read the Father's promise in 1 Chronicles 17, verse 9. Also, I will ordain a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, and they shall dwell in their place, and shall be moved no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as at the beginning. The Father promised to plant us, to plant Israel in a place that He has chosen. When we start at the center and look at the coat of arms of Haiti, we find a tree that's planted on a mound of earth, a palm tree. This is the first sign. The one palm tree in the center represents Israel, the firstborn nation of the Father. As the chosen people, Israel is unique. And just like Isaac and the Messiah are considered the only begotten Son, Israel can also be said to be the Father's only begotten Son. Exodus 4, verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Father, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. When we look at the palm tree, we count 12 branches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What do these branches represent? What is the voice of the sign of the 12 branches of the palm tree? Genesis 49, verse 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 branches represent the 12 tribes of Israel. If we go straight down the tree, we see at the base of it is a drum. But behind the drum, we find two axes, two battle axes. And on either side of the tree, we find a cannon, two cannons total, two axes and two cannons. One each for Judah and one for Israel, one for the northern kingdom and one for the southern kingdom. Jeremiah 51, verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. Israel is the arm of the mighty one. Isaiah 44, verse 6. Thus saith the Father, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the King of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and beside me there is no other. We read that the Father is the King of Israel and that he is the King of hosts. Hosts are armies. He is the King of what armies? Exodus 6, verse 26. Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies. The mighty one is the King of the armies of Israel. He is the king of the host of Haiti as well, the king of the armies of Haiti as well. Haiti is the spot of Israel's greatest victory during the European age of world domination. As the arm of the Father, Haiti defeated Spain, Great Britain, and Napoleon's France. She then helped to free 5 South American nations from the mouth of a lion, Spain. Haiti, the first nation to outlaw slavery, is the mother of liberty and freedom. The Father thereby recorded his name in Haiti. Why? Because the armies of Haiti served as the Father's arm. When we go back to the coat of arms, we see that the palm tree is planted on a mound of earth. It is planted on an altar of earth. Exodus 20, verse 24. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen, in all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. Israel is the firstborn son. We read again, Exodus 4, verse 22. Thus saith the Father, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Exodus 13, verse 2. Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Sanctify unto me all the firstborn. Sanctify unto me Israel. Israel is set apart. Deuteronomy 14, verse 2. For thou art a holy people unto the Father thy mighty one, and the Father hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the earth. Why an altar of earth? Israel is the sacrifice. Romans 9, verse 3 and 4. For I could wish that myself were accursed from the Messiah for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the mighty one, and the promises. Romans 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the mighty one, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the mighty one, which is your reasonable service. Paul calls Israel a living sacrifice. Israel, the firstborn son of man and of the earth, is set apart and placed on the altar of earth as a living sacrifice to the living Father. Let's turn our attention to the colors. The colors on the current flag are mainly the three primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, plus white and green. Red represents blood, life, man. It also symbolizes sin, things that are earthly and are of the flesh. Blue represents the word of the Father, the cleansing water. The golden yellow represents spiritual purity, as gold is purified by fire. Red, blue, and yellow combine to form all the other colors. This is symbolic of representing everything that is on the earth. White is a symbol of holiness and righteousness. Green represents healing, life, flourishing. It represents fruitfulness. Red, like you might find on a garnet or a ruby stone, or on a pomegranate represents blood, life, man, sin, the flesh, and things that are earthly. Let's look at two examples. Isaiah 1 verse 18. Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Father. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. Our sins are said to be red. Numbers 33 verse 11. And they removed from the Red Sea and encamped in the wilderness of sin. The wilderness of sin by the Red Sea. The red stripe on the flag represents things that are earthy. It represents the earth. The blue stripe on the flag we can compare to the blue color of a sapphire stone, or the blue color of the robe that the high priest used to wear. Blue is a symbol of water. It is a symbol of the word of the Father, a symbol of heaven. Exodus 24 verse 10. And they saw the mighty one of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. The color of heaven is compared to the color of a sapphire stone. It is given the color blue. Exodus 28 verse 31. And thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all of blue. Verse 35. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister. Why is Aaron dressed in a robe of blue? Because blue is symbolic of the word of the Father. Aaron, as the high priest, is supposed to be dressed in the word of the Father. Aaron's conversations are to be in heaven. The blue stripe on the flag represents heaven. Blue over red, on earth as in heaven. In Philippians 3 verse 19, we read about the earthly man. We read, whose end is destruction, whose mighty one is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. The earthly man is only interested in earthly things. We also read about the heavenly man in verse 20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Prince, the Messiah, Emmanuel. Our conversation is in heaven. That means that we should only be concerning ourselves with living according to the word of the Father. Matthew 6 verse 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. When the kingdom is here, everything that is done on earth will be done according to the word of the Father. Everything will be done as the Father ordained it in heaven. When we look at the flag of Haiti again, we understand that the horizontal stripe on the bottom, the red stripe, represents the blood. It represents man. It also represents sin, the flesh. It represents the earthly man. It is a symbol of the earth. The blue stripe on the top represents the word of the Father. It is a symbol of heaven. If you live in accordance with the word of the Father, then you are a heavenly man. And when you talk with others who are living the same way, then your conversation is in heaven. Going back to the coat of arms, let's have another look at the palm tree. What is the symbolism of the palm tree itself? This brings us to our fifth sign, the palm tree. Why a palm tree? Life. Psalm 92 verses 12 to 15. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Father shall flourish in the courts of our mighty one. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Father is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. The palm tree is a sign of those who have the Spirit of the Father. As we read in Psalm 92, the palm tree symbolizes those who are righteous and upright. They will be planted in the house of the Father. They will flourish. They will bring forth fruit. They will be very fruitful. The palm tree represents those who are strong and resilient. They show that the Father is our rock. The palm tree also symbolizes victory, victory over death. Revelation 7 verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands. They had palms in their hands because they prevailed over death. Isaiah 49 verse 16. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. Thy walls are continually before me. The Father told Israel that we are graven upon the palms of his hands. We are always before his eyes. Let's go back to the signs. On the coat of arms, we find 6 flags. These 6 flags are symbolic of 6 wings. 6 flags, 6 wings of the Seraphim. Let's read Isaiah 6 verse 1 and 2. I saw also the Father sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. Isaiah saw seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. What is a seraphim? Numbers 21 verse 8. And the Father said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. The Father told Moses to make a fiery serpent. Let's hear what Emmanuel said. John 3 verse 14. And Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. Even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Emmanuel said that he must be lifted up, just like Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. Moses lifted up a seraph, a fiery serpent. When we go to Strong's dictionary, we find the word seraph, word 8314. We read seraph, A fiery serpent. This is what Moses lifted up. A fiery serpent. A seraph. Israel must be lifted up as well. The 6 flags, 3 on each side, that are attached to the palm tree are like the 6 wings of the seraph. As Moses lifted up the seraph, so must the ensign of the root of Jesse also be lifted up. John 4, verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Salvation is of the kingdom of Judah. Salvation is of Judah. What does this mean? This means that Jerusalem is within the land of Judah. We ought to go to Jerusalem. We ought to go to Zion to wait for the Father there. Why? Because that's where the Father will come. That's where the gathering of the children of Israel will be. That's the place that will wait for the law of the Father. And so, Judah must be lifted up. That's the place that we ought to look to for our salvation. For the rest of the world, it means that not only will Zion and Judah be lifted up, but all of Israel will be lifted up as well, because the entire world has to look to Israel for salvation, because it was in the hands of Israel that the Father placed his word, that the Father placed his prophecies. You cannot get them from any other nation. Getting back to the coat of arms, when we pull back out, we see the entire flag. We see that the coat of arms is directly in the center of the flag, and it appears like a window or a doorway that joins the top and the bottom, that joins heaven and earth. This brings us to sign number 7. Haiti is a portal, a gateway to heaven. Genesis 28, verse 12. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Mighty One ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Father stood above it. Verse 17, and he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the Mighty One, and this is the gate of heaven. Jacob saw in a dream a ladder from the earth going up to heaven. It was a ladder that breached both worlds. And what did Jacob say? Jacob said, this is the house of the Mighty One. This is the gate of heaven. That is what we're looking at when we see the coat of arms in the center of the flag. We are looking at the gate of heaven. Heaven and earth. The red horizontal stripe on the flag represents the flesh. The blue stripe represents the word of the Father. It symbolizes heaven. The banner is raised to all flesh. That's the bottom stripe, covered by the word. The top stripe, it points them to the center, to paradise. The coat of arms is centered, joining the two worlds. It is New Jerusalem, the habitation of the Holy One. Isaiah 66, verse 1. Thus saith the Father, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? The Father's house will be built in paradise. It will be built in Zion. Let's get back to the center. Let's get back to the coat of arms. If you look on either side of the coat of arms, to the left and to the right of the palm tree is an anchor. Sign number 8. Two anchors on the altar. Hebrews 6, verses 17 through 20. Wherein the mighty one, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it was impossible for the mighty one to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge, to lay hold upon the hope set before us, which hope we have as an anchor for the soul. Which hope we have as an anchor of the soul. Again, we read, we who have fled for refuge. The refuge is in Zion. We who have fled for refuge, to lay hold upon the hope set before us, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, both sure and steadfast, and which entereth into that within the veil, which entereth into that within the veil. What is within the veil? The Holy of Holies. It means to stand in the presence of the Father. And that is what will happen when we get to Zion. When the Father comes down, we will see him with our own eyes. We will be within the veil. We will stand before the Creator of heaven and earth. Verse 20. Whither the forerunner is for us entered, even Emmanuel, made a high priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. Let's move on to the next sign. If you count underneath the canons, you will find that there are 12 cannonballs under each one of the two cannons. 12 plus 12 is 24. The 24 cannonballs are symbolic of what we read in Revelation 4, verse 2 and verse 4. We read, and immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. Verse 4, and round about the throne were 24 elders, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. The 24 cannonballs represents the 24 elders. 12 cannonballs on either side, each divided specifically into groups of 9 and 3. Why? 9 for the northern kingdom of Israel's 10 tribes. Joseph's 2 portions are counted as 1, and 3 cannonballs for the kingdom of Judah. Notice how Judah's 3 tribes are detached or scattered. Here we have 12 cannonballs for the 12 tribes of Israel. Notice how Joseph and the other 8 brothers, these 9 cannonballs are grouped together. But the 3 cannonballs representing the kingdom of Judah They are scattered. They are detached. They are not grouped together. This is symbolic of what happened to Israel in real life. Israel became outcast, but Judah was completely scattered into the four corners of the earth. Isaiah 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Let's look at the whole flag again for sign number 10. Sign number 10 is the name of the flag. It is known as the flag of Haiti. The proper pronunciation makes it the flag of Haiti. But Haiti has another name, and that name is Kiskeya. So it is also the flag of Kiskeya. Why are these names important? The name of the ensign, the flag of Haiti, is important. Haiti means the Father is with me. It is the ancient Hebrew name given to the island by its early Israelite settlers. These Israelites came to be known as the Taino. When we break down the name Haiti, A is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It symbolizes the first, the supreme being. Et means with me. You can look up the word Ethiel in Proverbs 30 verse 1. And from that word, you can derive that Ethi means with me and El means the mighty one. Hence, Ethiel means the mighty one is with me. Well, that same Ethi is in Aet. Aet means the first one, the supreme being, is with me. The Father is with me. You can look at two videos that I have already posted on the name of Haiti. The first video is called Proof That Haiti Means God is With Us. The second video is called The Complete Etymology of Haiti, Haiti, a Hebrew name. The island has another name, Kiskeya. In the Taino language, Kis means high, Ke means earth, and Ya is the name of the creator. Therefore, in the Taino language, Kiskeya translates to the high land of Yah. But this name is also an ancient Hebrew word. Its deep meaning can also be derived. Here's a clue. In Exodus 17, verses 15 and 16 of the NIV, we read, Moses built an altar and called it, "The Father is my banner." He said, because hands were lifted up against the throne of Yah. The Father will be at war against the Amalekites from generation to generation. So Moses built an altar and called it, "The Father is my banner." He said that hands were lifted against the throne of Yah. The throne of Yah in Hebrew is Kes Yah. Kes Yah. The same two words you find in Kes Ke Yah. Let's analyze it. Kes Yah and Kes Ke Yah. Kes Yah means throne of Yah. A throne is exalted. It is high up. We see the Taino meaning of the word Kiskeya, the high land of Yah, deeply rooted in Hebrew. Finding an altar and a banner in this passage makes the flag of Haiti or the flag of Kiskeya all the more thought-provoking, given that it is a banner that features an altar and that has Ah and Yah in its names. Kiskeya to the Taino also means mother of all lands or mother of the earth. This is likely derived from the many attributes of the island. It properly brings to mind Jerusalem, which is also called the mother of us all. We read that in Galatians 4, verse 26. Well, it makes complete sense that if Haiti is Zion, if Haiti is New Jerusalem, then New Jerusalem would also be called the mother of all lands or the mother of the earth, the same way that the Bible calls Jerusalem the mother of us all. They both represent the seat of the Father, his habitation. They both represent the navel of the earth. It is from Jerusalem that the word of the Father will be spread forth throughout the earth to give nourishment to all the people who live on the land. A quick look online will confirm that Kiskeya and Haiti have been referred to as the mother of all lands or the mother of the earth. Let's go to sign number 11. If you look at the base of the tree, right under the drum are two chains, two golden chains. Exodus 28, verse 9. And thou shalt make 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Israel. Verse 13. And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of wreathen work shalt thou make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. Moses was told to take 2 stones and write the names of the children of Israel, 6 on each stone. And he was instructed to make 2 chains to attach to those 2 stones. Why the chains? Psalms 68, verse 18. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, that the mighty Father might dwell among them. Thou hast led captivity captive. Who does the Bible refer to as the captivity? Israel. We are called the captivity because we are being held captive in the nations that we are currently living in. Thou hast led the captivity captive. Well, the captivity, Israel, the Father has led captive. Isaiah 41, verse 9. I brought you from the ends of the earth and called you from its farthest corners. I said, you are my servant. I have chosen and not rejected you. You are my servant. Israel is a servant of the Most High. Israel is captive to the will of the Most High. That is what the chains symbolize. That's what they symbolized when the Father told Moses to create them. And that's what they symbolize in the flag, in the coat of arms of the ensign of the root of Jesse. The chains symbolize that Israel is captive. Israel is a servant of the Father. Let's move on to sign number 12. Let's get back to the tree. A palm tree with 12 branches. We know what the branches symbolize. What is the tree? What does the tree itself represent? Israel. Why do people attach themselves to Israel? To serve the mighty one of Jacob. Why? Because they want to live. The tree also represents the tree of life. Revelation 22, verse 1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the mighty one and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. There are 12 months out of the year, so it yielded her fruit 12 times a year. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. A tree of 12, the number of the man Jacob. Our palm tree has 12 branches. We read in Genesis 49:28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. The tree of life also features the number 12. We just read that the tree of life bare 12 manner of fruits and yielded her fruit 12 times a year. This tree represents Jacob. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. The leaves are on the branches. These are the 12 tribes of Israel, a nation of priests who shall bring the word of the Father to heal the nations. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Well, it is the children of the 12 tribes of Israel who will bring the word of the Father to everybody else on earth and thereby heal the nations. 1 Peter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Israel, the entire nation, is called a royal priesthood who will proclaim the virtues of the mighty one who took Israel from darkness into his marvelous light. Well, it is this light that we shall bring to the nations, his word, his law that shall heal the nations. Israel is the tree of life. In Isaiah 49, verse 3, the Messiah is talking, but we also hear the voice of Israel. Let's read it. Isaiah 49, verse 3. And he said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel. Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. Verse 6. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Salvation is of Emmanuel the Prince. As we read in John 4, verse 22, salvation is also of Judah, the place the Father has chosen to set his name there. And salvation is of Israel, the royal priesthood. Israel, the tree of life, a light to the nations. Revelation 21, verse 24. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it, into Israel. Well, we covered 12 signs. Let's look at one last sign. Which sign? Well, if you look at the coat of arms, at the bottom is the motto. It is written in French. It reads, L'union fait la force. What does it mean? It means unity makes strength. Sign number 13. Unity makes strength. The motto at the bottom of the coat of arms. Why is it there as it relates to Israel? Well, what is a wife without her husband, or a nation without her king? Israel is nothing without her husband and king. She has proven to be male fodder for the nations. Psalm 118, verse 14. The Father is my strength and song. He has become my salvation. The Father is my strength. Husband and wife. That's what describes the Creator and his people Israel. Isaiah 54, verse 5. For thy Maker is thine husband. The King of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the Mighty One of the whole earth shall he be called. For thy Maker is thine husband. The Father is Israel's husband. Revelation 21, verse 2. I also saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from the Mighty One, prepared like a bride adorned for her husband. New Jerusalem is the capital city of Israel. New Jerusalem represents Israel. New Jerusalem, Israel, is the bride that has been adorned and is waiting for her husband to come down so that they can exchange vows again, a new covenant. The two shall become one. Genesis 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Ephesians 5, verse 32. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning the Messiah and the church. Paul is talking about the Messiah as representing the Father, and the church, which is the assembly of Israel, the congregation. The two shall become one. John 17, verse 21. Here is Emmanuel talking. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Let's read it again. That they all may be one. This is the gathering of Israel physically, and this is the gathering of Israel in heaven. One spirit. As thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. So, Israel needs to unite with the Father. And this is what it's all about. It's about the reconciliation of the wife Israel to her husband, the Mighty One. Unity makes strength. Israel must be united physically on the earth and spiritually in heaven. Once gathered into one, Israel's strength is in uniting with her husband, her maker. Psalms 84, verse 5. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them. Psalm 18, verse 1. I love you, O Father, my strength. I love you, O Father, my strength. That completes our look at 12 signs plus 1. But there are more signs that we will be covering in the next video. For example, we didn't talk about the trumpets. We didn't talk about the cap. And there are other things that we haven't spoken about yet. We'll leave that for the next video. But we have seen so much already when analyzing the flag for us to seriously consider that this is indeed the ensign of the root of Jesse, that Haiti is indeed the place that we are to go to for the gathering of Israel. My name is Dominic. You can reach me at 646-425-0923. That's 646-425-0923.